What is this? This is a Harry Potter sketchbook where I just come up with the compositions for the book illustrations I'm doing. I drew their face designs first. This is Firenze, the centaur from the books. Some compositions. Dobby, but he came out better in the illustration. And here I was designing Gilderoy Lockhart, the defense against the dark arts teacher of the second book. I am working on a new book illustration. I am in chapter 6 of the second book. That's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Here's the composition I came up with. I redrew it on the mixed media paper, and I added another character to the front because it was feeling empty on that side. There's a lot of good scenes to illustrate in this chapter, as usual. I find there's usually a lot of things I'd like to paint in every chapter. Like, she's very good at making the story interesting. There's a part where they are in the botanic class and they have to repot the mandragores. And there's also the part where Gilderoy gives his first defense against the dark arts class and it's a complete mess. But I went with the part where Ron receives a letter from his mother. I don't know what it's called in English, but it's one of those letters that scream at you the message. He receives this letter the day after he and Harry arrive in Hogwarts by crash landing his dad's car into the tree. It's just basically his mom sending him a letter, letting him know she's angry at what he's done. But since it's one of those angry screaming letters, he's scared and embarrassed of receiving it. I drew the part where Errol, their owl, that's hard to pronounce, he crashes on the table during breakfast. So there's Hermione, Ron, Harry sitting across Ron, not knowing what is happening since he's never seen one of those red letters. The kid on the right top side is supposed to be Neville Longbottom. He's there in the passage in the book, and he advises Ron to open the letter fast because otherwise it would just explode. And for the character at the bottom, I just drew a random kid to fill in the blank for the composition. It's flipped right now so I can work on the owl, but once I flip it back it will make sense. And I am painting the illustration with Tempera. The composition I drew has a lot of elements. I wanted to show that the owl made a mess by landing on the table, so I drew a bunch of breakfast stuff scattered, like a cup, some breads, and also some milk spilled on the table. But I don't know if it looks like what I intended it to. I want the owl and the letter to be the main focus, and then Ron surprised. I think the circular composition works well. They are all surrounding the owl and looking at it. I think it conveys the message properly. When I started painting, I chose an orange underpainting since I want the overall colors to be warm. They are at the Gryffindor table in breakfast, so they all wear red in their clothes. I wanted to keep it all cohesive in that way. And the letter is also red, so there's a lot of warm tones in this illustration. Even Ron's hair. I wanted to leave the area behind Errol the owl white, like the white of the paper, or a bit off-white. Because in the book he knocks over Hermione's milk pitcher when he lands, so I wanted to show that. And it also works as a composition device. Since the owl is darker on the light background, it will stand out or command more attention. The picture with the hog's head that's on the table is a design I got from the video game, the Hogwarts Legacy video game. When it comes to the castle and the objects, and even the uniforms, I think they did a great job in the Hogwarts Legacy game, so I often use it as reference, and I'll probably use it even more in the future. I also have a sketchbook where I draw all these inspiring places in the castle, but I haven't worked on it recently. I have been mostly focusing on the Fantastic Animals sketchbook. I've done a lot of those videos recently. Ron is not my favorite character. Actually, I don't really like Ron. And I've said it before too, but I really like to draw him. At least I like the design I did for him. I think he turned out cute on this drawing. I think it was a good idea to do the underpainting in warm colors. It worked out well with the cool tones of the wizards' uniforms. I added a bit of blue on the grays for the dark robes. I like the way the rendering of their clothes came out, and I'm also leaving a vignette around them, like just fading into the color of the paper. Normally when I paint illustrations, I start by doing the faces of the characters first, but for some reason I felt like doing the outfits first. Also could be because I felt like Errol was the main focus, so everything else is rendered after. I don't know, but I think it worked out in the end. I really like this illustration because there's so many elements to it. I don't usually do compositions with this many elements. And of course, something with so many different parts, it takes a while to render properly. It took me a while just to fill in those small gaps between paints. In one of the paintings from the first book, I think I gave Ron brown eyes. I don't know why I think he looked good with brown eyes, but they're actually meant to be blue. I always forget that detail, but I remembered for this illustration. Errol looks a bit depressed, or like he has a rough time. He's supposed to be a very old owl of the Wesleys, so I wanted to convey that. Maybe if I had gone further on painting the feathers in a raggedy way, it would have enhanced it more. I left the small uniform details for last. I also used some color pencils on the rendering. And here is the finished version. I don't think I conveyed the spilled milk properly, like I said before, but I do think it helps Errol stand out. Anyway, I like this piece and I think it came out cute.